Greetings everyone and welcome. My name is Jason Arilani and you're joining me back on the Stanley Parable. I'm not really going to put annotations on the screen for this one because the parts that happen aren't really correlating. Basically, I've done this once already and I listened to the exact opposite of what the narrator has to say. For those who don't know, this game is all about narration. I wonder if it's
All of his co-workers were gone.
Yeah.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Basically, this game narrates everything for you, and it gives you a choice in multiple parts, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute for those that haven't seen it. For those that have, well, you'll understand, and you'll just have to bear with my explanation. So we're going to keep going down this way, and this way.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So that's where it tells you you enter the door on the left, but you can go to the door on the right. And that's what I did leading off to the events of the last episode. This episode I'm actually going to go and follow his exact directions and see what happens there. So everything he says I'm going to follow. I'm literally following the narration here. So we're going to go in the door on the left. We're going to keep following it around. There's a bunch of paintings, some more offices. And
yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
So there's these whiteboards, everything. They have a whiteboard manager. No wonder everyone is gone. So yeah, they have just all this stuff here. I love that thing there. Get Chris out of the broom closet. It's just, it's funny. And then just kind of seeing all this stuff. But I can click on that, please. So yeah, there's just all these different things. And I'm not going to sit there and read that, so we're just going to keep going here. So there's the broom closet. I'm not going to go in there. I know what happens. If you want to go in there, get the game yourself and play it. Hello.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, it's so tempting not to listen to him, but I said I was going to. So I have to follow the narration. I have to do it. I have to. Oh, this is an interesting boss's office, I guess. What's that say? It says executive bathroom. Oh, I can't go in the bathroom apparently. A set of double doors.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
That's interesting. It's almost like it tells you that, but yet you can go elsewhere, but you really can't, and yeah, so we're just gonna go. Have I mentioned how difficult it is to want to disobey his instructions? Because it's so, like, interesting. Like, I want to see all the different areas, and I can only imagine how long it would take to find all the different paths and different endings, and I'm sure I could go look it up, but I don't want to. So, more videos, I might just keep it these two. One where you completely disregard everything he says, and one where you follow him to a T, and then from there, it's up to you to follow. But for now, we're just gonna do what he says, because that's what I set out to do. I also forgot to set my stopwatch, like an idiot.
Into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Dun dun dun. Alright, so let's keep going around.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape! Interesting. I could go that way, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep going this way.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I don't know. We're gonna see. Actually, I do, because this is gonna be interesting. Oh my god. There's a button for cameras.
Now the monitors jumped
Holy
to life,
jeez.
their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I see a thing up there. I'm gonna get up there. I don't know if I can. That'd be interesting. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Ooh, okay. Oh, wait. Where's mine? Where's mine before the... Oh, there it is. I see 427. There's my office. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of right in the middle. I was staring at it for a second to show 427. That is so cool. Alright, well, I don't know what that is.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Well, we'll find out.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
That's great. Does it tell me how? Push the big red button. Can't push the big red button. I push the number 10. There's 10 again. I'm pressing buttons. I probably shouldn't. But there's so many of them and I want to push them all. No, whatever. Do I step in the middle of all that? Do I... Console disabled. That door is closed. There's a staircase that leads up there. Can I go up it? Four. We'll leave that button alone because I'm afraid of what it'll do. That's not what I want to do. I want to do things to the correct amount. Hello. I ran into a pillar. Alright, can I go down here? I can. Nothing happens. Alright, well, let's go over to facility power and let's see. This has gotta be where I'm supposed to go. Hello. Mind controls idle, awaiting input. Walk, 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 walk.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Assuming just hit off. Hello, everything's dark. I don't know what's going on. Everything went dark. Oh, 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 there's a light.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Jeez.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
That's pretty.
And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
They offer like this way of not jumping down. Thought there was a way. You could like just go right through there. But like it tells you, go through the open door, but then it's like, well, what if I don't want to?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, he was happy. So, I'm guessing that's it for this ending? Yay! Achievement unlocked, beat the game! They have some interesting achievements in this, and if you haven't seen them yet, you should probably go check them out. I really do suggest getting this game yourself, for the sheer fact that, as I said, there's so many different choices that you can make. I mean, as you were able to see there, right up to the very end, it was like, okay, well you can hit off or you can hit on. And just something like that is just like, wow. So I definitely suggest any of you who do watch this, get the game yourself. Unfortunately, I spoiled 2 endings. Oh, see, I'm back in my office again. Hey look, it's right where the video started. Anyway, I do suggest getting the game yourself and checking it out. At the time that I got it, it was $15 on Steam. There's also a completely different thing called the Stanley Parable demo that's available, and that's completely free. There's not as many like free choices that you can do because it's supposed to literally be, you know, a demo. So I would definitely suggest if you wanted to even check out something different, you could even check that out and see how it goes. But for now, we're actually going to end this here. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to continue showing off anymore. I probably won't. I don't think I'm going to continue showing off the many different choices you can make. But this is a game I definitely suggest checking out and going and getting for yourself. So thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Continue giving me suggestions for games. If there's some that are kind of cheap or just ones that I can afford, like this was $15, I could take care of that, no problem. But just keep giving me suggestions for games. I really do need some suggestions and things that I can play so I can actually make content. I know I'm not the best gamer in the world, but I want to show off games, and that's just fun. So thanks so much for watching. The game link will be in the description below, so you can go get it for yourself, and join me next time for whatever game we choose to do next.